guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't so, do like and subscribe. Before I get started, I'm very agitated, but I'm trying to stay as positive as possible. And excuse my face, I am on my period, so my face gets to be a little messed up. But anyways, so I had said on my previous videos that I was gonna be getting my surgery with Dr. Durante. So yesterday, um, yesterday was my surgery day at 1. As soon as I got there, I signed in, blah blah blah, everything you need to do. So you sign in, put the person that's gonna be taking care of you as soon as you go back home, their phone number for when you're done they can call them, and the doctor you're gonna that's gonna be doing the surgery on you. That's what I did. So they told me to sit down. Guys, I was sitting down until 7 at night, still with no surgery whatsoever. So imagine being there from 12:30 till 7 at night, waiting to see if you're even gonna get the freaking surgery, and ends up being that I get called to the back thinking that I'm ready for my surgery, and they tell me no, that they cannot do my surgery because the doctor is Dr. Durante is the director for another hospital, and that he had an emergency with the you know the security there or something like that. And then they told me that they could schedule me for today at 7 in the morning. I'll be the first one there. Okay. So I'm like, fine, God has the will here, so I'm just gonna do that. And it's better to have him fresh than to have him really tired, because he did do a girl that was in there from 1 o'clock all the way till like 8 or so, because she was getting everything done. I mean, she was getting breast done, she was getting a BBL, and she was getting the tummy tuck, and altogether she was, it was too much. So I was just like, fine, that's fine, I'll have him fresh. So I get ready today, and I get there. Ends up being that he's late for the surgery, so is his nurse. And I was fine with it because at least they got there. So once they got there, they sent me to the back. So I'm like, cool, I'm excited, I'm pumped, I'm ready to do this. Now, guys, I am a heavy smoker when it comes to weed. I smoke every day. The only reason why I stopped smoking was for this surgery. I stopped smoking and I got clean, etc. My tests were coming back negative. My home tests were coming back negative and everything like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. So I get there, I pee in a cup, give it to them. They put it on the pregnancy test. Pregnancy comes back negative. The drug test comes back negative, and so does the nicotine, and everything else comes back negative to me. And to another nurse that she was also a smoker or something like that, and she knows when it's a negative test, and she also seen that it was negative. The reason why it was negative was because on a drug test, guys, if you do not know this, please do keep this in mind. On a drug test, no matter how fainted those lines are, they are still considered a negative. They don't have to be completely bald, both of them, in order to be considered a negative. That's false information. As long as you have 2 lines, you're good to go. It's a negative. If you have only 1 line and it's a control line, then of course it's a positive. But in my case, there was a faint line. Not really that faint, because it popped out quick. It just wasn't as bold as the control line. So it was definitely there. I haven't smoked in like 3 months because of the surgery. Like, I was telling them, why would I pay $5,000 if I know that I'm not clean? It just doesn't make sense. Not everybody has $5,000. I sure didn't have $5,000. This is something that I saved up for quite a while in order to get it. So the first nurse that took my urine there, she's like, well, that's too light. I don't know if he's gonna consider that a negative. I'm like, but it is a negative. I mean, if you can see in the back of the photo, it says that lines may vary on a negative result. No matter how faint the line is, it's considered a negative if there's 2 lines. She's like, yeah, I mean, but it's still he will still consider it a positive just because it's not as bald as the control line. I'm like, okay. So she had me get dressed and everything like that, still, just in case the doctor changed his mind. Ends up being that the doctor comes in and he tells me no, that he's not doing my surgery. So I'm like, but why? The test is negative. He's like, yeah, but it's not as bald as the control line, and I need it to be as bald as the control line because I'm not trying to get any complications, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I understand that. But I got told on the phone that I needed to get clean for this surgery, and I did. You guys told me as long as the test was negative that I wouldn't have any problems. The test is negative, and now I'm having problems. So, I mean, was the freaking issue? He's like, no, that I'm not gonna do a test on somebody that still has marijuana in their system because that is stored under fat, and if there's any complications as far as infections and whatnot, that then you know, I don't want to be responsible for that. I'm like, okay, cool, fine. You know, it's one thing after the next. I have not had any type of complication, guys, until I met with the doctor. He was very polite on the pre-op, do not get me wrong, he was very polite. But then after he found out that my test wasn't negative to him, he was all serious with me or something, like he has a problem with people that smoke weed. What's the freaking problem with it? Something from nature, something God gave us. And I don't care if there's people on my channel that do not like people that smoke weed or anything. Like I said, you don't need to watch this. You do not need to judge me. That's who I am. That's what makes me happy. And I have my reasons why I do it. And it's that simple. I do not need to explain myself to anybody. Also, so there was another nurse, which is the one that controls the anesthesia. So she is a sweetheart, you know. She tried to help me as much as she could. So she ended up saying, I see the test negative. She tells the nurse that said that it was supposed to make a positive. So she's like, that's a negative. And she's like, no, it's not a negative because it's not as bald. And he doesn't consider that a negative. She was like, but it's a negative. So she was like, here, pee for me again. So I told her, okay. So I pee for her again. The test comes back the same way. There's two lines. There's two pink lines. It's just that one is a little bit lighter than the other. And she was like, well, it's a negative. And she tries to explain the other nurse. And then to the other nurse, like, nope, it's still a positive. She's like, okay, well, then I'm going to pee on the test because I smoke. At least for the nicotine one, because she doesn't smoke weed, but she does smoke nicotine. So she ended up peeing on it, and of course her came back positive because she smokes on a daily basis nicotine. I don't smoke nicotine, guys. I do not. It's just that the rolling papers I use, I guess apparently they have some type of nicotine on it, so my nicotine was, you know, positive, I guess. But I do not understand why, because like I said, I have not smoked in over 3 months. I am a heavy smoker. I've been smoking quite a while. So, you know, I just didn't understand what was going on because the test was still negative. So she told me, she's like, okay, you know, let me just try to discuss it. Just wait for me in the office. And there was another girl that was supposed to be after me, but they ended up marking her up and starting to do her surgery. She has never smoked ever in her life. So, of course, hers came out like 2 bold lines instantly because she's never smoked, period. So I'm like, well, you're lucky you don't ever smoke, so that you're lucky you're gonna get your surgery. And she was all nervous, and I'm like, you know, just calm down, stay positive. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be great. You're gonna do great. Just stay positive, and everything will be fine. She's like, okay. And she's like, good luck. And then she went in for her surgery. So I wait like another, I want to say 30 minutes to an hour in the office. And then finally the nurse that was trying to help me comes in, and she's like, so I try to talk to him, but he's just not up for it. He's not gonna do it. He says that he's not gonna do it. And honestly, my advice to you is to change doctors. Try to get Dr. Harry. He doesn't really care if it's faint or not. So he will definitely do the surgery on you. I'm like, but can I get it today? I mean, I've taken off days of work for this. I keep spending more money on my Airbnb, on the minivan I rented, on everything else, just because this is stuff that were not told to me. And she was like, I know, honey. And you know, she was pretty much saying that if she was me, just to reschedule with Dr. Harry for Monday, excuse me, for Monday, because he wouldn't care that my lines are faint. Or pretty much that my lines is not as bald as the other one, because it wasn't really that faint, guys. It was just not as bald as the other one. So I got a little upset, But Dr. Harry is a nice doctor. He also has very nice results. So I was just like, fine. So I'm like, okay. So I took off, you know, the cap, the robes, the compression socks that they give me, etc. And I put my robe and the outfit that I was supposed to wear for surgery again. And I went to the front desk, and then the girl, the receptionist at the front, gave me her number right here on a sticky note. Her name is Rachel. She gave me her number and told me to call her around 11, which I will, so I could reschedule with Dr. Harry for Monday. So yeah, guys, that's what I'm about to do. I just wanted to come up here and tell you guys the update. Honestly, I thought that Dr. Durante would be different than the reviews that they were giving me, but I see that he's just very against the people that smoke weed, which I found it that it was, you know, a little bit of a discrimination, because how are you not gonna do my surgery even though the test is negative just because I smoke weed? But the test is negative. Like, I haven't smoked because of this procedure. So, you know, just because I smoked weed before and I'm not completely clean like somebody that haven't smoked before doesn't mean you don't get to do my surgery. But everybody has their rules, everybody has their way of working, and I'm just trying to stay positive, guys, because like I said, God has a will, and who knows if I would have gotten done with Durante and he would have not gave me the results I wanted, or if I would have had some complications with him or whatever, you know. So I'm just gonna switch with Dr. Harry, which, like I stated, he's a very nice doctor. He has great results. And when I was coming down back to the minivan to leave, there was a girl in there, and she was listening to what I was telling my fiance, because I was telling my fiance what all went in there, and she was like, you know what? Don't be scared. I got a BBL done with Dr. Harry yesterday, and I'm finding he's great. He's very friendly. He's very attentive to what he's doing as well. So I'm just like, okay, you know. So that made me feel a little bit better. But I'm still angry at the fact that, you know, they made me go through this whole process, and, you know, all this mini drama, and it's too much. It's too much. So if you're thinking about doing surgery with Durante, if you smoke weed or you smoke cigarettes or hookah or whatever, think about it, because even if it's faint, he's just not gonna do it. You must be clean for at least 6 months or more. Like, he needs that to be extra mega clean. So pretty much like if you had never touched that stuff. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna reschedule with Dr. Harry, see how that goes, and I'll keep you guys updated. Like I stated before, if you haven't so, do like and subscribe. I will keep you guys updated on this whole journey. Also, if you want to be very attentive to my videos and you don't want to miss one, I just found out that if you hit that bell button under the video, that you will get a notification every time I upload a video, so you are able to you know, keep up with me on my updates. Anyways, guys, I love you, girls and guys, and hopefully I'm praying to God that I do get to have my surgery on Monday, even though it's not with Dr. Durante, it's with Dr. Harry, which I'm fine with it, because at the end of the day, I didn't like the attitude he gave me at the end of the day. He ended up being serious and kind of like discriminating, in other words. But anyways, hopefully I get to record soon with some positive news instead of negative news, and I'll see you guys later. See you, my darlings.